Millions of Americans are set to retire over the course of the next decade. And the reality is, many of them are doing it full of anxiety, worry, confusion, wondering, can I truly retire? And if I do hang it up and retire, am I gonna run out of money? Well, the reality is, for a lot of Americans, if they have a financial plan in place, they are going to be in an amazing situation. But in today's video, we're gonna take it a step further. We're specifically gonna look at business owners. And if you saw that title and you're thinking, how in the world can somebody with $10 million have a failed retirement? Well, unfortunately, it can happen on a regular basis without the right plan in place. So today what we're gonna look at is that exact scenario, a case study on a business owner who sells their business for $10 million. One business owner has a failed retirement and the other has a retirement that they get to do everything that they dreamed of. If we hadn't had a chance to meet, my name is Luke Turner. I am the co-founder of Moment Private Wealth, where we help athletes and business owners make smarter decisions with their money. Let's dive into today's video, retirement for business owners. Okay, retirement is this scary word that a lot of people try to avoid. Well, today we're gonna unpack the things that you need to be thinking about to make sure that you have a successful retirement and not a failed one. So let me lay the stage for the business owner that we're looking at today and look at some of the assumptions. So this individual has been running this business for the last 3 decades. Throughout the course of that time, they have steadily grown their business, increased their income, and increased the valuation of their business. Now they're getting to the point that they really want to move on to that next stage. They have grandkids, they want to spend more time there, they want to get out of the day-to-day in their business. So they've come to us and asked, can I retire? Well, what we went ahead and did is we put together an analysis. We looked at the valuation of their business, we looked at the taxes, we looked at how much they were spending, we compiled all that down into a financial plan. And the first thing that we're gonna look at in today's video is a flowchart that we put together for every client, but specifically, this can be super valuable for those business owners that are looking to retire. So let's go ahead and look at that cash flow flowchart that I just talked about. So as you're looking at this flowchart, we're gonna walk you through it from left to right. So on the left-hand side of the screen, what you're seeing is all of our inflows. So up here at the top, we have $600,000 in income. This is the annual income that this business owner was making off of his business. And then right underneath it, you can see we have a $10 million inflow. This inflow is specific for the sale of the business, okay? So when they went to go sell their business, if you look over there on the left-hand side, we have their income for that year plus that $10 million. Now on the right-hand side, we have all of our outflows. Okay, up here on the top, we have our expenses at $300,000. This is what we're estimating that they're spending on a regular basis. We walk them through a budgeting analysis to be able to make sure that that is the right number. The next piece here are our goals. Okay, so when we think about our goals, one of the things that this couple had in mind is that they really wanted to buy a second home. That second home was gonna cost $2 million, and we need to make sure we included that in the plan. Our next piece here are our tax payments. So we're gonna pay $2.6 million in taxes. Fortunately though, we structured the deal properly so that way, almost the entire $10 million transaction was getting taxed at capital gains tax rates. Okay, this can be the difference in paying 37% on your transaction or 20% on your transaction. So really make sure you have the right team members in place if you're looking to sell your business. And then lastly, we have our net cash flow saved, okay? So after all their goals were accomplished, after they paid taxes, they got a check for, call it $5.6 million. And now what we have to do is figure out what do we need to be doing, what do we need to be investing in to make sure that we don't have a failed retirement. Now, the biggest thing as I pulled on this cash flow map that I want you to be thinking about is what are the things that are most important to have a successful retirement? And what I would tell you is that the number one thing is controlling your expenses and controlling the big expenses, okay? When we think about retirement, keeping that snowball in play and making sure that you are not dipping into your principal, especially early on in retirement, is going to make a huge difference. And you're probably thinking, well, I understand what you're saying, but what does that actually look like in practicality? Well, let me stop here and pull up another slide that shows you exactly what this looks like for this specific client, whether they overspend or whether they spend the exact correct amount. Okay, so what you're looking at on this page is two scenarios that we've ran for this business owner. And what we're trying to look at here is what is the implications of different spending amounts, okay? Over here on the blue, what you can see is this individual spending $30,000 per month. So actually a slight uptick in what they were spending before retirement. If you remember on that last page, we had them spending $300,000 a year. But in this analysis, they asked, can we really spend even a little bit more, $30,000 a month? And then what we saw in the green is us spending $25,000 a month. So $5,000 a month difference. But if you look at this, it makes a huge difference in what this is going to look like over the long term. If you see, the blue line is actually going down, and at about age 82, they're running out of money, okay? But on the green line, you can see that we are steadily keeping that principle in place, that balance in place over the course of their entire retirement. And now what I would tell you is that the biggest problem that people run into is they start retirement and they spend too much too fast. Think about it as, if we look at that blue line at age, call it 62, they're really starting to dip into their principal. Once you start to dip down into that principal, it's really hard to regain that momentum that you've created with your investment portfolio. So what's the one takeaway here? The one takeaway is that setting your spending in the correct form on day one is going to be really, really important in retirement. And what I want to make sure that you don't do is that you don't sell your business without having a plan in place. Selling your business without understanding how much you can spend in retirement is one of the worst things that you can do. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen people sell businesses for $20 million, $30 million, sell the business and think that they can continue maintaining their lifestyle with what they were spending. And unfortunately, they just simply can't. Either their runway's too long or they didn't get enough money for their business to meet all of their goals. So what should you do? You should make sure that before you sell your business, you have a retirement plan in place that takes into account all the different variables that we've talked about today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button below. We're going to be putting more and more content out just like this as it relates to business owners selling, as well as retirement specifically for business owners.